And moving on, we have National Education Day celebrated on November to mark the day on which first education policy was drafted. Birth anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, birth anniversary of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, day on which Indian education system became free. So the answer to this is one. It is celebrated to remark the day on which our first Indian education policy was drafted. Also, if you look at our previous videos, you would find a whole video dedicated to the Indian education policies before and after the independence. So right now over here, we are talking about the first Indian education policy after independence. Okay. So after independence, the first education policy was University Education Commission or the Radhakrishnan Commission, which came out. I'm providing this extra knowledge for you so that you can just take a note of these and you can use it in your exam also. This came out in the year. You can always access the previous videos to check out the dates for the committees, but it came out in the year Radhakrishnan Committee or the University Education Commission came out in the year 1949. Okay, moving on, we have How I Taught My Grandmother to Read is a short story written by APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, it's a static GK question. Now, we have to arrange the following events chronologically from the earliest to the latest. Firstly, we have the Vietnam War, the Truman Doctrine War, the Korean War, the Soviet-Afghan War, and the disintegration of Soviet Union. Okay, firstly, so the answer is two over here. Firstly we have the Truman Doctrine. Then we have the Korean War, which led to the formation of South Korea and North Korea. Then we have the Vietnam War, which almost led to the division of Vietnam, but somehow, they came back. Then we have D, Soviet-Afghan War, and finally E, disintegration of USSR or the Soviet Union. Moving on, which of the following are Rabi crops? Now, Rabi crops are also known as winter crops. We have cotton, jowar, mustard, peas. Then, so the answer to this is A, B, and C. So peas apparently is not a Rabi crop. Now, moving on, we have National Crafts Museum and Hastakala Academy is located in Ahmedabad, Wardha, Delhi, and Agartala. The answer to this is Delhi, and the answer is not Agartala. I hope you all take a note of this. The answer is Delhi. Okay. Moving on, Pandit Ramabai, who was the first woman to be awarded the title of Pandit as a Sanskrit scholar in Saraswati after being examined by the faculty at University of Oxford. The answer is University of Oxford. Okay. Again, a very, very important question. Anything related to UN, UNESCO, UNICEF, it's very, very important. What was the 2010 to 20 SARC decade designated as? Now, SARC is basically South Asian, it's a community of South Asian countries, and every decade they assign some basically a trending thing or a global issue or a global challenge, and they dedicate that whole decade to it so that they can work towards development of it. Okay, so such a decade was 2010 to 2020. Let's see what decade it was designated as. Decade of intra-regional connectivity. So the South Asian countries often lack some intra-regional connectivity, so this decade was dedicated to that. Now, moving on, who is the author of the discovery of India? The answer is Jawaharlal Nehru. Again, the answer is marked wrong, children. The answer is Jawaharlal Nehru. I hope you take a note of this also. Then moving on, where did the Chernobyl explosion took place? Now, Chernobyl, if you know, it was a nuclear plant, and the explosion happened, and a lot of people died because of it. So Chernobyl is also often a topic of dispute between Russia and Ukraine because I feel uh, Russia always claims it to be theirs, but I feel it's in Ukraine or something like that. So the answer is 1986, Russia. It must have been before Russia-Ukraine division. Okay. Now the graph of time series is called historygram. Okay. Now histogram is a different graph. I hope you don't get confused. Histogram is a different graph where we have graphs for regular time intervals with no gaps in between. A historygram is a graph of time series. Okay. Okay, again, a statement question. Gautam Buddha criticized Brahminical rituals and sacrifices. Statement 2, the Mahayana sect worshipped Buddha as a god. Now, okay, I'll give you a little background for this also. Now, Gautam Buddha founded Buddhism religion, and it was founded on the basis of, since Gautam Buddha was earlier a Hindu, he saw that there were a lot of caste related problems and a caste related challenges and disparities which existed in the religion. So that is what led to him forming the a whole new religion out of it. So a Mahayana sect is a sect of people or a community, people who worship Buddha as God. Okay, so both the statements are true, so the answer is 1.